Hi students, welcome back to the video class of Business Research Method. In our previous video classes, we discussed two types of data collection methods, that is survey method and experimental method. So in this video, we are going to discuss the observation method. Observation method is one of the most commonly used data collection method. So let us start. Observation is one of the important source of information to any research. In other words, it is a method of scientific inquiry. Observation method is most commonly used method in behavioral science. So, we can say that observation is a process of recording the behavioral pattern of people, objects and occurrence without questioning or communicating with them. Now, we can discuss the meaning of observation. Observation means viewing or seeing. When we use observation as a method of data collection, it is different from casual observation. It is more than just viewing. It has some purpose. So, observation involves looking and listening very carefully for getting particular information. Now, we can discuss some definitions of observation. So, first we can discuss the definition which is given by Jorman and Clayton. So, the definition is observation are those that involves the systematic recording of observable phenomena or behavior in natural setting. So, this definition says that observation involves a systematic recording of a particular aspects or particular behavior in natural setting. Now, the next definition is observation is the systematic description of events, behavior and artifacts in the social setting chosen for the study. This definition was given by Marshall and Rossman in 1989. So, as per this definition, observation means a systematic description of events, behavior and artifacts in the social setting. Now look the next definition. This definition says that observation enables the researcher to describe existing situation using the five senses, providing a written photograph of the situation under study. So this definition says that observation helps the researcher to explain an existing situation with the help of his five senses. This definition was given by Erlandson, Harris, Skipper and Allen in 1993. So, these are the important definitions of observation. Hope you understand. Now, moving to the next topic, that is characteristics of observation or features of observation. So, first one is observation is both physical and mental activity, which means both physical and mental activity is required for the successful implementation of observation. Now, the next is observation is selective. Observation is a selective process. Researcher does not observe everything. He decides a particular area and observe that area. Now, next feature is observation is purposive and not casual. As I already told you that in research, behind every observation, there is a purpose. Next is observation capture the natural social context in which a person's behavior occur. Now the next features or characteristics are observation is systematic, observation is specific, observation is objective oriented, observation recorded immediately, observation require expert skill, observation is verifiable. Now we can discuss important types of observations. So observation may be participant and non-participant observation, direct and indirect observation, controlled and uncontrolled observation, structured and unstructured observation, simple and systematic observation, subjective and objective observation, casual and scientific observation, intrasubjective and intersubjective observation, factual and inferential observation. So, now we can discuss each type in detail. So, first one is participant and non-participant observation. So, what is participant observation? In this observation, the observer is a part of the group to which he is observed. So, here the observer penetrates the thoughts, emotions and actions of the observed group. So here observer has two roles, that is observer and participant. Now next is non-participant observation. This method is just opposite of participant observation. Here researcher does not participate in the activities of the group to be studied. In this case, the observer does not make any effort to create a relationship with the group. Now next type is direct and indirect observation. So first we can discuss what is direct observation. In direct observation, the observer is physically present to observe the particular situation. He personally monitors the situation. Now next is indirect observation. This type of observation does not involve the physical presence of the observer, and the recording is done by mechanical, photographic or electronic devices. Now next is controlled and uncontrolled observation. In controlled observation, the observation is done as per pre-arranged plan. In this case, the mechanical aids for obtaining data are used. Here the conditions of observation are standardized. This type of observation is conducted either in the laboratory or in the field. Now look what is uncontrolled observation. In uncontrolled observation, there is no pre-arranged plan. No formal mechanical tools are used for observation. The data are collected without standardizing procedure. It is also known as simple or natural observation. Now next is structured and unstructured observation. So in structured observation, there is a careful definition of the units to be observed, information to be recorded, selection of the relevant data for observation, and standardization of observation. So we can say that in structured observation, researchers are more conscious about their observation. But in the case of unstructured observation, the conditions are not standardized. It is most flexible. Here researchers actively participate with the observed group. Now next type of observation is simple and systematic observation. Observation is done to collect data at exploratory stage of research is known as simple observation, or observation is done to collect data at the beginning stage of the research is known as simple observation. But in the case of systematic observation, standard procedures, training to observers, schedules for recording and other devices to control observers are used. Now next is subjective and objective observation. If one observes one's own immediate experience, it is known as subjective observation. Here researcher observe his own experience. When a person observes things in investigation which are not related with him, it is called objective observation, which means in objective observation a researcher not observe his experience but he observe other aspects. It is called objective observation. It is also known as retrospection. Now next is casual and scientific observation. In casual observation, there is no previous preparation. The investigator observes things as a matter of chance. That means he observed the right thing at the right time. If the observation is carried on the basis of certain measurement tools, it is called a scientific observation. Now next type of observation is intrasubjective and intersubjective observation. If repeated observation of a same matter is done by the same investigator, it is known as intrasubjective observation. If repeated observation of the same matter is done by different observer, it is known as intersubjective observation. Now the next type of observation is factual and inferential observation. If factual information is collected through observation, it is known as factual observation. Here the researcher collects factual information. On the other hand, inferential observation is the observation which is done to draw inference or conclusion. So these are all about types of observation. Once again, the important types of observation are participant observation, non-participant observation, direct observation, indirect observation, controlled observation and uncontrolled observation. simple observation and systematic observation, subjective and objective observation, casual and scientific observation, intrasubjective and intersubjective observation, factual observation. So, hope you all get an idea about the types of observation. Now, moving to the next area, that is components of observation or process of observation. There are mainly three components of observation. They are sensation, attention and perception. So, first we can discuss what is sensation. It is the first step in observation. It is gained through our sensory organs. So, sensation is a process by which our sensory receptors and nervous system receives and interprets stimulus energy. Now, the second component or second step in observation is attention. Attention depends upon the ability of the observer to concentrate on concerned studies. In other words, attention is the process of getting an object of thought clearly before the mind. Now, the next and last step is perception. Perception means interpretation. So, it is a process of organizing and interpreting the information which is collected through sensation. Now, we can discuss the objectives of conducting observation. The main objective for conducting observation are to understand observation method, to identify its purpose and characteristics, to know its planning, processing, recording of data in research, to identify the various types of observation and to describe advantages and disadvantages of this method. Now we can discuss the conditions for the success of observation. There should be some condition which must be satisfied for the successful implementation of observation. So, the conditions are: the observed problem should be clearly and precisely formulated. The observer must develop a free mind. It will help to observe and formulate a clear and correct opinion. The facts observed are always interrelated, so the observer should consider only vital factor. So, these are the conditions which must follow every observer for the successful implementation of observation. Once again, the observed problem should be clearly and precisely formulated. It is a first condition. Whether the problem is not clearly and precisely formulated, the result is not correct. So, the observer should set the problem which should be clearly and precisely formulated. Now, the observer must develop a free mind. It will help the observer to observe and formulate a clear and correct opinion. And the last condition is the facts observed are always interrelated. So, the observer should consider only vital facts. Now, we can discuss the important advantages of observation method. Observation method is one of the most reliable and objective method. It is possible in conducting at the natural setting. It is useful for young and shy children. There is no need for equipments or tools in the case of observation. It is useful for individuals as well as groups. Immediate detection of problem is possible in this case. It is most direct measure of behavior. It provides direct information. This method is easy to complete and it saves lots of time. It can be used in natural or experimental settings. Now we have a look on the disadvantages of observation method. Subjectivity, less accuracy, interference, objective recording, lack of competency, unnatural situation, expensive, slow and laborious, biased, lack of cooperation from people, favoritism, it may require training. Sometimes observers' presence may create artificial situation, need potentials to overlook meaningful aspects. Sometimes it may be difficult to analyze. In some cases, the use of observational methods may be unethical. So, these are all about the disadvantages of observation method or major problem which is faced in the case of observation method. Now, we can discuss some questions which is related in this area. They are: define observation, what are the features of observation, explain the types of observation, what are the components of observation, what are the objectives of observation, what are the conditions for the success of observation, what are the advantages and disadvantages of observation. So, these are the questions which is commonly asked in this area. Okay students, Today we discuss what is observation, its features, important types of observation, components of observation, objectives of observation, advantages and disadvantages of observation. So, hope you understand all these things. Now we can wind up today's session. See you in the next class. Thank you.